Hola, estudiantes. Today we're going to have a mini lesson on agreement. So you've seen this concept in all your readings and your listening activities throughout the year, but I just want to go through a couple of the key concepts about agreement that will help you recognize and use it better when you're speaking and writing. So agreement or acuerdo is when a word that describes a noun matches in number and gender with that noun. We'll cover three concepts in this. We'll look at articles and what they are. We'll look at nouns and how to tell what the gender and number of a noun is. And then we'll look at word order and where we put the different parts of speech. All right, so here's a couple of examples of agreement in action. So we've got el perro bajo la carpeta morada, unos chicos atrevidos, and unas manzanas amarillas. So just in general, there's a rule. If the noun ends in an O, it's typically masculine. If the noun ends in an A, it's typically feminine. And so perro ends in an O, this word dog right here is masculine. So the words that are surrounding it, el, the, and then bajo, short, are also masculine and singular. For a word like chicos, os, that makes it masculine and plural. So the word unos or some is masculine and plural as well. And the word atrevidos or bold and daring, that ends in an os because that is masculine and plural as well. So here's the feminine versions. Carpeta is feminine and singular. Manzanas is feminine and plural. Okay, so there are nouns that end in other vowels or consonants, but and you can tell, here's how you can tell, if something like lápiz, there's a noun lápiz, pencil, ends in a consonant, or presentación, presentation, ends in a consonant. It's hard to tell just alone what the gender is. So that's when we look at the article to figure out the gender. So definite articles, which all mean the, el, la, los, or las, tell you if it's singular, plural, masculine, or feminine. This chart is super helpful to determine that. Indefinite articles, which mean a or an, un or una are a or an, and then some, unos or unas are some, will also tell you the gender and the number of the noun. So as long as you have an article in front of your noun, you'll be able to tell what gender it is. Okay, so for example, el dia is, so there's some that don't follow that gender rule that we normally look at. So they end in A, but they're masculine. El dia, el agua. Here's one that ends in an O, but it's feminine. La mano and la radio. So sometimes you have to memorize like those particular ones. Another one is el mapa that you have to memorize to know that it does not follow our normal gender rules, A being feminine, O being masculine. Some can be either gender, and usually this is with people. So dentista could be el dentista or la dentista. Estudiante could be el estudiante or la estudiante, depending on who you're talking about, what the gender of the dentist or the gender of the student is. For other examples, for pets and that kind of thing, the gender changes with the person. So el gato or la gata, el chico or la chica, el abuelo or la abuela, depending on the gender of the person. The actual noun changes, but then also the article changes with it. There are some endings, some suffixes to nouns that if you know the suffix, you know the gender. These are all with the nouns with these endings are all feminine, like sion, dad, tad, tud, and hombre are all going to be feminine nouns. A lot of adjectives end in O, so you'll see usually when you see your notes or something like that, you'll have all your adjectives in O: alto, bajo, serio, guapo, rojo, blanco. But then some don't end in O or A, so you have like impaciente, sociable, azul, verde. So those adjectives won't change in number and gender. I'm sorry, they won't change in gender, but they will change in number. So these ones that end in O are the ones that are going to be changing in gender and number, depending on what it's describing or who it's describing. These ones right here are always going to end in E, or you can add an ES or an S to it to make it plural. Describing things that change from O to a different gender or number. So la jirafa es alta, the giraffe is tall, los profesores son serios, the teachers are serious, las tijeras son rojas, the scissors are red. And then there's the ones that don't change in gender, that only change in number. El lápiz es azul. Azul would not change to a different gender. But los lápices son azules. If you had more than one pencil, you'd have to make blue plural as well. La chica es sociable, or las chicas son sociables. Notice in all of these examples, and I'm going to go scroll back up to the top here, all of these examples, the adjectives come after the noun that they describe. In English, we would say the short dog, but in Spanish, they say the dog short. All right, so we've covered what agreement means, what articles are, and how to tell with certain nouns that you can't outright see the gender of those, how to look at the article to see exactly what gender it is, and then also what word order adjectives, articles, and nouns come in. All right, that's your mini lesson for today on agreement. Be ready to use this and apply this topic in an upcoming assignment.